All right. Happy Thursday, everybody. Big waves to you. Good to see you. So, for everybody out there, I am grateful. I've got Andrea Rosser coming in with me today to talk about this word. Coach Myra Miles will be here tomorrow talking about the word to end the week, but today is change. Change. How many of you would consider yourself going through change right now? Maybe it's in your health, maybe it's in your finances, maybe it's in your profession, maybe it's in like your relationships and your family and things. Like there's change going on. Change, to cause to be different, to give a completely different form or appearance to, transformation, right? Change. But I want to talk about kind of some resistance to change. Have you ever had resistance? Have you ever said to yourself, I've always done this way, and they're trying to get me to, give me a hug. They're trying to get me to change. And so, bear with me just a second. Love you too, son. Have a good day. You too. Peyton's going to college. So, here's the thing. One reason people resist change, and I was looking at this, and Rick Godwin actually said this in a quote, said one reason people resist change is because they focus on what they have to give up instead of what they have to gain. You know, I know somewhere buried deep inside of me is like probably a 6-pack Al's. But every time I go in that direction, I'm thinking about having to give up that gallon of ice cream that I like to go and mow through it late at night, right? That hinders me from having those 6-pack Al's. So what am I focusing on? Probably the wrong thing. I'm focusing on the ice cream giving up versus the Al's and maybe a picture of them, maybe what they would look like or how I'd feel in the process of getting them. So everything's about focus. And Rick says we focus too much on what we got to give up rather than the beauty of what it is and what it looks like when we receive it, right? When we come on the other side of change, when we go through that journey. So here's the thing that gives me comfort when I think about my own life and something that's outside of my control. How many of you, does things give you comfort when it's outside of your control? Sometimes it does me. I have no control of this. And it almost releases it, because I try to steer so many things in my life. Change is inevitable. Change is constant. It's going to always be there. It's going to always be happening in our life. Everything changes. The times of the year changes, right? The seasons change. The trees change. The fur changes. Like everything changes as the seasons, as time changes. Then it changes again and changes again. Life is a change. We change as we grow. How many of you would agree that you're growing? Maybe it's self-development. Maybe it's in more belief in what you can go do. But you're a different person today than what you were a year ago. And I'm going to finish with this, Andrew. I know we didn't start on time. We all like to stay in our comfort zone. Would you agree with that? And stick to what we already know. It's just easier. So change can be very challenging. Really, we're hardwired to resist change, especially when we can't see the end of the staircase or the top of it and things are uncertain. We naturally, as humans, look for a more predictable and comfortable way to events. But here's a certainty. If we manage to embrace change, it is an absolute key to more success in our life. And here's some of the benefits: learning to deal with adversity, overcoming challenges, self-esteem and confidence, personal growth, becoming a more flexible person, new opportunities, teaches you to deal with fear, and forces you out of your comfort zone. All of these things are a byproduct from a person that's willing to change and embrace change. Sometimes it's going to be a win on the other side. Sometimes it might feel like a loss on the other side. But at the end of the day, we're going to constantly, as we go through this life, we're going to constantly be changing, because that's been laid out in front of us, and we know that is a definite. We're going to change in this life. Andrea, I'll turn it to you.
Well, thank you so much for this one, Coach. That was a great message. And, you know, when I was thinking about this, I think I really came at it from a different mindset, because I think sometimes we can change so much that we can get a little bit of change fatigue. Like, I think about our world over the last year where we had to adapt to this, adapt to this, adapt to that. Maybe even within our own company, we had to adapt to all these different changes for some of us. And sometimes you can just get worn out. And so what I wanted to talk about was just some powerful ways that change can improve our life. And so the quote that I found was, "We cannot become what we want by remaining what we are." And that's Max De Pree. And I think that's so true, but still we can sometimes, like Brent said, we can just be a little bit resistant to it. So how can we get more enthusiastic about change? How can we embrace change a little bit more? So first of all, find meaning. Okay, so spend some time trying to figure out what's really important to you. I think about, you know, my little journey this past year of moving across the country. I really had to decide what, you know, put those scales together and say, okay, this is what I have here. This is what I could have there. And I found meaning in it and said, okay, let's do it. Let's rock and roll, right? And took that big change. To create a dream board. We all hear Todd Rowland talk about these all the time. I don't know if you guys are guilty. It's, you know, 3 years of me hearing about this maybe, and I still haven't actually written one. So, but the power of a dream board is it shows you what the change could look like if you were brave enough to go get it. So go create that change and believe in your dreams again. 3, set goals. So once you know what's important in your life and what your dreams look like, set some goals to get yourself there so that you feel encouraged to go make those little bit of change. 4, let go of regrets. So if we spend all of our time thinking about the past, we cannot change and move forward in our future. And the one thing, there's only really one thing that we can't change, and that's the decisions or the actions that we took yesterday, right? So stop focusing on the past and start moving forward. And then do something, I love this, number 5, do something that scares you. You guys know I'm a timid rabbit. So pick something. It can be something small, put a plan in place, and just do that one thing that scares you. Start living a balanced life. Number 6, live a balanced life. So this is a hard one sometimes to accept, at least for me, but our physical bodies are going to change. Our health is going to change. Our mindset's going to change. So let's try to live in a way that lets that change be as positive as possible. So maybe don't eat the ice cream during the Zoom at night, right? That was me last night during your Zoom last night, Palmer. Maybe make sure that I jump on this bike more often or work a little bit harder at it. Get outside, see some sun, you know, read the self-development books, put those things in place because we are going to change. Let's make it the change that we want to see in ourselves. And then this one kind of ties in with the other one, but face your fears. Once we face them, we take the power back, right? So you make the big move, it's terrifying, but once you face it, you realize, okay, I did it. It's okay. We're going to survive. 8, accept yourself. So the only person, shucks, the only person that's going to change your life is you, right? So to create change, like yourself, right? Love on yourself and step into the positive change that you can create. 9, live in the moment. I love this. Don't miss the moments of joy that we have in our life right now by focusing in either direction, right? So sometimes we can be focused on maybe the changes we did or didn't do, or we can be focusing on the changes we want or don't want in the future. And we're not just soaking up the blessings that are right here, right now, right? So live in the moment. And then last, experience the joy. Number 10, experience the joy of learning. So each time we learn something new, each time we dig out just a little bit more knowledge, we get a little bit more confidence. And with that confidence allows us to step into more change. So thank you guys so much. This was a fun one today.
It absolutely was. And appreciate you guys. I know we're all out there changing. You wouldn't even be on this call if you didn't have change going on right now, because it's kicking our day off in the right direction. So I'm grateful for you. Love you guys. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks, Andrew Ross.
Love you guys.
Blessings.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrea.
Thank you.
Andrea, that was
Yeah,
great.
thank you.